Now, this isn't normally the type of video we like to do here at the Babyface Bullies. Usually we like to do things like this.
No, I can't even do it.
Or this. Sleep with one eye open! Or this.
I'm a wrestling fan!
But right now I feel it's important to talk about the situation that's going on with the WWE and releasing large amounts of employees, not only talents, but backstage employees, everyone from janitors to IT to accountants and everything else. And they're not the only ones to be doing this. Of course, you have like United Airlines getting a large bailout from the government and laying off employees. Companies like Disney, who laid off over 70,000 people or furloughed them. This is all bad news all around. This sucks. This is a terrible time, and the worst features of capitalism and corporations are really shining through. Now, I'm definitely in a wrestling bubble. I have a wrestling YouTube channel, a wrestling podcast. Wrestling takes up a lot of my daily thoughts and time. Excusing that, this is a bad look for WWE and really an embarrassing moment in their history, in my opinion. To get to the reasons why that is, I guess we have to start back from the beginning. Let's go back to March 12th. This seems like a million years ago, but it was actually only a little over a month ago. I believe this is right around the time the NBA, the MLB, NHL, all of the major sports around the country were shutting down. But at this moment, WWE had not yet shut down WrestleMania. Now, there's probably reasons they hadn't. They wanted Tampa to cancel for insurance reasons or whatever. But in the midst of all this, WWE released a statement. WWE has substantial financial resources, both available in cash and debt capacity, which currently total more than $0.5 billion. Why did they say it like that? I don't know. It's $500 million. The fundamentals of the company's business remain strong, reflecting the passion of WWE's fans and the quality of its content. The health and safety of WWE's fans, performers, and employees are the company's top priorities. Now we get to March 25th and 26th. This is when WWE records WrestleMania at the Performance Center. Recording went on without a hitch, and they actually did a really good job of making sure no spoilers got out. Which honestly, I don't think I would have minded if they did get out. Probably could have saved me some time. Flash forward to March 31st. The WWE announces a new television deal with Sony Pictures Networks in India. There is no figure announced, but even though all this is going on, they touted this major deal. Great new revenue source for the company. Also on March 31st, we had WrestleNomics, one of the best sites out there for people who are interested in this sort of thing. They reported that even if there were no live events for the rest of 2020, including the highly lucrative Saudi Arabia events, that WWE would still break their operating income record level for 2020. Picture that. Not a single live event, not a single ticket sold, and they would still break their revenue record. Okay, that's where this company is at. WWE is still on pace for record levels of revenue. The key thing is, as long as they can keep those television deals and as long as they can continue to produce programming. That becomes important when Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, issues an executive order for essential services that can stay open during the shutdown. WWE is not on that list. 8 days later, April 9th, WWE is on that list, as DeSantis alters his order to include professional sporting events such as WWE and media productions.
But I think if there's content that can be created, I think that that's a good thing.
What also happens on April 9th is Linda McMahon runs a super PAC, or is it PAC? Nobody seems to agree on this, which exists to re-elect Donald Trump, who, by the way, helped to get DeSantis elected.
Then I see him without a shirt one day, and this guy is strong.
Linda McMahon's promised to spend $18.5 million in Tampa and Orlando, Florida. That's kind of a weird coincidence, right?
All right, so, I mean, what does that have to do with me? Like, they supported me?
So April 10th, they're going to tape a bunch of episodes. Everyone can go home. Good. But then something changes. Midway through the day, Vince McMahon decides that they need to go live that Friday night each week, 3 times a week for Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. This move is a move to keep these TV deals in place and to keep everyone happy, to save the company, in theory at least.
Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because You!
The very next day, April 11th, when news breaks that a WWE employee who worked the WrestleMania tapings tested positive for coronavirus. This employee apparently went out to dinner with some doctors who work with coronavirus patients? I mean, that's not very smart. If things aren't off the rails already, this is where things really start going off the rails. News organizations are starting to pick up on the fact that WWE has been deemed an essential business.
Professional wrestling is an essential business
that's critical to Florida's economy.
They finally get press that they always dreamed of, and this is what it's for. So with all this going on, April 15th, Vince McMahon releases a memo. I won't read the whole thing because I got it from the Fightful Select Patreon, which you should subscribe to. I did find these first few sentences important to say here. First and foremost, I hope that you and your families are safe. What we're going through today is unprecedented, and there's no doubt these are challenging times for everyone. Given the adverse effects of the coronavirus and the resulting financial recession, WWE, like so many companies, have to decrease operating expenses. Effective immediately, we are reducing executive and board member compensation, decreasing talent expenses, cutting third-party staffing and consulting, and improving our cash flow by delaying the production of our new headquarters for at least 6 months. And then they also released this statement on their corporate website. The key line is this: the company's reductions of employee compensation and headcount result in an estimated monthly savings of $4 million, primarily from the deferral in spending on the company's new headquarters. So nowhere in this statement does it say we were going to lose money. The statement just says that they need to improve the cash flow. Basically what they're saying is they're doing this because they can get away with it. Like everybody else is doing it, so we can do it too. And that's gross. That's terrible. Finally, on April 15th, WWE released multiple talents, agents, office workers, and more. Dave Meltzer says that the talent cuts will save them about $703,000 per month. The $4 million includes all the expenses cut, including the expenses of moving to the new office. So that's where we stand right now. WWE is one of the few companies who is not going to be hurt by this. In fact, they are still on pace to post record income for the year 2020. Now, if Fox or USA Network said, hey, you're canceled, we can't afford this, which I don't even know if they could do, but if let's just say they could in this magical fairyland, then they could do some stuff like this. They could do this and more, but that's not the situation. This is a company that is going to make record profits, firing people to make more profits.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
To me, what this comes down to is three things. Number one, is this necessary? No, it's not. They are not going to lose money if they keep No Way Jose or not. No Way Jose is not going to make or break this company. They have a projected estimate that they've given their shareholders for what they will make this year, and they want to hit it. Why? Who the fuck knows? The only thing they're in danger of is not making the biggest profits in the history of the company. And if you're not going to make the biggest profits in the history of your company during a year of a pandemic, that's okay.
I want more!
The timing. How stupid is this company? April 9th, they bribed a governor.
All right, so,
Allegedly. Not even a week later, they released a bunch of people. You're putting bad press on top of bad. They couldn't wait till May 1st?
I enjoy destroying lives.
These people who wanted out, that's not everybody, but some people did. People that wanted out, guess what? Now they have nowhere to go. There's no other company to work for. Even if AEW or New Japan is interested in someone like Rusev, they can't justify spending that money right now when their future is so uncertain. Well, I've also seen people say, the people that they released, they weren't going to do anything with them anyway. Yeah, so what? So what? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. You could have released Sarah Logan a year ago. You could have released her 6 months ago, but you didn't. You could have released No Way Jose. You've never had a plan for No Way Jose. You've never shown an interest in using No Way Jose, but you've held on to him. Might have been able to build a career somewhere else. You kept on to him because you just did, because you want to hoard talent. Now that these wrestlers have no chance of getting another job in wrestling or even starting a different career path, if that's what they so choose, now is when you decide to release them. That is pure evil, and it makes me sick.
He's gotta puke!
Finally, you have the optics of this. And the optics may be the worst of all. Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan are continuing to pay people who can't work. And meanwhile, you have the biggest, the richest, the most powerful company who is built to survive something exactly like this, who is still going to make record profits, and they're the ones that are laying people off. That's just not right.
It's all about the money.
The worst part about all this is the amount of people I've seen to try to justify this, to try to make it seem like
WWE doesn't have a choice.
this is a line item. $703,000 per month is a rounding error for a company that is going to make record profits. Yet here we are. Nothing puts you in a worse position, health or safety-wise, as not knowing where your next paycheck is going to come from. In a world like ours where we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, because every day is just more and more bad news. This company took the time during the worst situation in America's history since, I don't know, World War II, and decided that now was the time to do this. Not because they needed the money to survive, but because they needed the money to make their share price go up another 53 cents. So, good job.
Wrestling is my life.
Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit.